wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And we got some special guests with us this morning. We have Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross here. And we're going to talk the debate. So before we get started, what did you guys think about the debate last night?
I was so happy with Kamala Harris's performance, in part because her non-verbals were on point.
Yes.
I felt like every time she couldn't verbally respond to him, who I think probably talked over her 3-1.
Absolutely.
Did not follow the rules. I was super frustrated with the moderators who did not enforce the rules against Donald Trump. And then the moment she tried to tap in, the same way
I was mad about that too.
That was nuts. So I really didn't like that, but I will say I believe Lindsey Davis did a great job. Their questions were substantive. I hated David Muir bringing back up the you said she wasn't black. I just thought it wasn't the right stage
I noticed
for
that this morning during Front Page News when Morgan was playing some of the audio. You were getting frustrated at that time. You were upset.
Yeah, and I think part of it is this. Every time that we bring up Donald Trump, I think that we have an obligation to say what is fact versus fiction. And I just want to be very careful that just because he talked more, just because when he's at the bully pulpit, he says a lot of things, it doesn't make it so. So I think we have an obligation. It's very dangerous. I'm someone who's been on the other end of a death threat, right, because of Donald Trump. So you got to fact check that stuff. It's not okay to just play it and let people think whatever they may.
Now,
we have a responsibility.
Republicans were saying it was a 3-1. What did you guys feel about that?
No, I mean, Republicans are going to come out and say anything. He has such a low bar. And because it was brought up, I just want to do a little fact checking about the eating dogs comment. It was an incredibly racist comment by Senator J.D. Vance and also inaccurate. The Haitian population it's been an influx of the Haitian population in Springfield. They actually breathed life back into that very sleepy town. They've revitalized the economy there. They are not here illegally. They're not in Springfield illegally. They're here under something called TPS, Temporary Protected Status, because of the earthquake that happened in Haiti and all kind of political turmoil. Stock by say to all the Haitians out there, because the country of Haiti is so important. It was the only country that led a revolt. They said, we will not be colonized. And I think it just means something so much to black people. So to insinuate something completely false and racist, and it traffics in tropes about the Haitian population, I thought it was disgusting. And I didn't even think the moderators did a great fact check there. Back to Vice President Harris.
It was disgusting, but it was great to hear him say on the stage last night because he sounded insane.
Angela and we
wanted him to sound insane.
Angela and I, we were kind of disagreeing about that because she was like, no, let her talk. And I was like, you know what? Every time he opens his mouth, it helps her. But it is very American to have this incredibly accomplished woman on stage on equal footing to this half-assed, half-witted, asinine man who got not one, not two, but 3 baby mamas, who is an indicted criminal, an unnamed co-conspirator in a crime. Right. So it just looked disproportionate. You know, he looked incredibly small and beneath her. The sad fact is we've always known that. And 75 million Americans voted for him. And I don't think he moved anybody from his base last night, because there are a great group of people who would rather see this country burn to the ground than to see a black woman run it. It was a clear choice last night. It was great to not. Angela, I also disagree on the audience. I'm happy there's no audience there. This is your chance to give your platform, present it to the American people, and let the American people make an intelligent choice. It's not I don't want to hear cheers, jeers, anything like that. Yeah. So I felt
also
like
already party.
Right.
That would have benefited Trump.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
I don't think so. I think that we misunderstand how much Kamala Harris also feeds off of audience energy. You see some of that at the rallies. I think it was fine. Like, I thought it was going to be more before the debate. We talked about it on our podcast, Native Land Pod, by the way. But what I feel is that she zoned in. She talked right to the American people. It really was of no consequence, and she demonstrated the difference between what a leader is and what a faux leader looks like.
Let me ask a question.
You would have done different if you were her? Sorry.
I was going to ask one question. The fact that he did not have a plan ready, and he
has a concept of a
plan.
Leave him alone.
What did you guys think about that? Where Kamala Harris said she had a plan, and he says I have a concept of a plan.
He does have a plan. He tries to distance himself from Project 2025, but the fact of the matter is hundreds of his staffers work on it. Hundreds of his staffers drafted it, and he is closely affiliated with these are people he still talks to on a regular basis. He only distanced himself after it was unearthed, after people in the media started talking about it. But trust me, if his staff is writing it, he's guiding their hand. So he has a plan, and also he has a record to stand on. I thought Vice President Harris did a great job of laying that out last night, of detailing the things that he did during his 4 years in the administration. That is also part of the reason, just to echo Angela's point, when we present facts and information as journalists, you have to, in real time, fact check everything this man says, because the sad reality, people are not reading the papers anymore. No. People are not consuming news and information. So many people are getting their news from TikTok and Instagram. And I would just beg everybody, have some intellectual curiosity. She put her policy platform up on her website. You can read it. You can go to her website and see it. You can also Google it from reputable news sources and look at it and see how it impacts you and what it does for you, and not hear things that are disproportionately in his favor. I think the news media is just begging him to get back in office.
He spoke about Project 2025 last night, the way he did Charlottesville, because he said that there's probably some good. He said, I've never read it, but there's probably some good things in there, and there's probably some bad things in there.
That's exactly what he did, and that's the thing too that I think we all have to remember. I wish that she would have hit him. I told Tiff and Andrew this last night on the show, that I wish that she would have hit him when he said, I have a concept of a plan, to say, oh no, you have a plan. It's called Project 2025, and put that right at his feet. I think him taking time to say her and she, and never looking at her, never saying Kamala Harris, never saying Vice President Harris or Madam Vice President, was very telling. And I think that was probably the only thing that he won out of his debate prep, to dehumanize her. And I think he went above and beyond to do just that yesterday.
What about the very beginning when she walked on stage? She looked very presidential.
She did.
She looked very, I'm going to come shake your hand. And he looked like he was running.
She went after the
It was given run up or done up. It was on site.
What was your thoughts on that?
She looked like to give me a hug person.
Well, if you remember back when he was on stage with Hillary Clinton, he was incredibly inappropriate. He was invading her space. He was walking behind her. I think it was great that she commanded the stage. She showed she's an adult. One of the things we talked about last night is she is not only on that debate stage speaking to him, the moderators, or the American people. She is on a global stage speaking to other world leaders. And so she has to present herself like an adult in the face of a petulant child. And I thought going out there saying, let's have a good debate, and going back to her stage, he was afraid to approach her. He was afraid to look at her. I think he has a fear of black women. And I've talked about him because he's talked about how attractive she looked on the cover of Time magazine. He said, oh, I thought she was younger. Turns out she's 60. We age a little different as black women, as he'll find out. He just invoked a war with every AKA across town, talking about she was at a sorority party. So I thought that she made herself look extremely presidential, and he looked fearful and small.
Let's go to the phones.
Let's take the calls when we come back.
Okay.
800-585-1051. If you have questions for Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, they are here. Let's discuss. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa's filling in for Jess, and we have Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross here. And a lot of people on the line want to talk about the debate, so let's go to the phone calls. Hello, who's this?
Yo, this is Robbie, man, from Columbus, Ohio.
Robbie from Ohio. What's your question, brother?
My question is, I want to know what is the process of the debate. Like, how do they get these people together to sit down and have these conversations like this, where, in my opinion, very little of what they're going to do for the country is spoken of? It's more of like a going back and forth, tit-tat for battle type of deal.
I do agree with
Some people said that last night, that they felt like it wasn't enough policy conversation.
I think Kamala spoke to the future.
There was policy.
I have a plan.
I think that she did talk about an immigration and border security plan. She talked about her plan to codify Roe versus Wade, and how important it is to strengthen the protections in Roe versus Wade. She
Opportunity
talked about
economy.
Trade. She did talk about opportunity economy. She talked about her small business agenda and the importance of small businesses to the fabric of this country.
Home ownership.
She talked about homeowner. I mean, she
even gave numbers.
She had numbers. She gave a lot of numbers.
Detailed policy plan.
And this goes back to her point, right, about running those Donald Trump clubs. Yes, that too. Donald Trump clips. When you run those clips, you don't hear substance. You hear a rambling elder, and that's not who Kamala Harris should be judged by, because that's not what she spoke to. So I actually think it's very different. What you don't have in a debate is the ability to force someone to answer the question as asked. He was asked substantive questions. He chose to wallow in the shallow, which that's all he can do.
And to answer your question, there's a debate commission that works with both candidates. You have to reach a certain stature or numbers as a candidate 15%. To participate, 15%. And they work with both candidates, and they agree on the rules, and they also both agree on the network to air it.
We have Eric on the line. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Peace,
Good morning,
Eric.
What's your question?
My question, well, are y'all going to have a real conversation about the debate last night?
I think we having one now. What's up, Eric? What you got to say? Get it
No, what I mean by that, I know most of everybody on there is a Kamala supporter, but I watched the debate, and I felt that they both had their moment.
I didn't see Donald Trump laying nothing
Donald
last night.
Trump's moment?
Yeah,
What
what
specifically was his moment?
What moment?
See, wait, see?
Back up.
Can you back up from the phone a little bit?
See,
What's his moment?
what you mean what was his moment?
I'm asking. What was the moment? What did he land
You
you?
just said he had a moment. What was his
Charlamagne,
moment?
hold up.
What did you like that Donald Trump said, bro?
When he was in office, was there a war in Ukraine?
No.
All right, so he was telling the truth on that.
What?
Okay,
There
that's
was
fine.
no war in Ukraine because Putin had not tried to annex Crimea at that point. That has nothing to do with the president of the United
Trump
States.
was saying that's why. Trump was saying he never. Trump said he always wanted to go in Ukraine, but he knew better because he was in office.
So you're suggesting that
But-
Putin bowed down to Trump?
No, I'm not saying he bowed down, but there wasn't no war though.
Okay.
When Biden came in, there was a war.
So are you suggesting that the war is Biden's fault?
No, he's just saying
That's not what I'm saying.
He's saying the world perceives us as weak because of Biden and because of Harris, and that's why they decided to go into Ukraine.
Is that what he's saying?
Trump,
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying?
That's
I'm
what I'm
trying to
saying.
get to the point that Donald Trump had a moment, specifically.
At the debate, too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
He had his moments because some of the stuff that he did, he was telling the truth.
Like what specifically? What policy
Eric,
specifically
this ain't working
did he
out for you,
benefit
buddy.
from
Nah, we try to give you a platform to say something, but you don't seem like you know what you're talking about, brother.
You letting MAGA down, Eric.
Yeah, you definitely let MAGA down. Hello, who's this?
This is Chelsea.
Hey, Chelsea. Good morning.
From
Get it off your
Louisville.
chest.
Good morning, Envy. Good morning, Charlamagne.
Good morning.
Peace.
Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
I
Tiffany
was just
Croft and
calling
Angela right
after
here, too.
listening-
It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead, Chelsea.
I was just calling after listening to the debate last night and watching it, and seeing Trump say that women are getting abortions in the 9th, 10th month after they have a child, asking the doctor to kill it. As a mother myself and a woman, I was just insulted.
That's understandable. You should be insulted. And I hope you take that insult to the ballot box to show just how insulted you are. Bring some of your friends, too.
For sure, I will. For sure.
All right.
I think they said the vice president raised $6 million within the last hour of the debate, and 71% of the donors were women or something like that. I thought I read that.
So in closing, how did you feel about the debate? What do you think could have been better? What do you think that Kamala Harris could have did better? What did you want to see more of?
I'm somebody that believes in getting in someone's head, and Donald Trump has shown what you can get in his head about the size of his rallies and talking. So there were a couple moments where he was like, "Quiet, please," and when he said "quiet, please," we couldn't hear her, but he could hear her. So I wish that she would have spoke a lot more when he was saying like, "You're lying, you know you're lying," just to get in his head. But I think she really had a flawless performance. Again, I would have liked to see the moderators enforce the rules a little more fairly, and for him to shut up. But that's a tall order.
Tiffany?
I would have liked the debate moderators to enforce the rules a lot more strongly than they did. And I would have liked her to get some more zingers in. I think there were times where there were good times where she was telling a narrative, which I thought was great. But there were times where he would say something and she could just right off the top, say something. I think Angela and I talk about this. I keep a bullet in the chamber. So I'm always ready to go with some slick ass, like insulting comment. And every time she was saying something, I wanted to just jump in and say something smart because like I said, or like Angela said, that would throw him off his game. But for overall, she did a great job of presenting to the Americans.
And there was times like when he said that, y'all did nothing for student loan debt. I was like, why didn't she just correct him?
Yes.
Why didn't she just say, no, we gave this amount of billions.
She probably had so much to correct them on.
She
It was
did.
like, I got to correct them on everything. everything. There was
And
one
some of
time
it
when they
shouldn't have
asked
been her
about policy,
job.
and she had to go back.
Like
Yeah.
some of that shouldn't have been her job.
That's
They
Moderator.
only fact checked him, I think, three
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the
And I want to
abort-
ask y'all too, how do y'all think cable news should be handling it? Because I think everybody on cable news should be talking about how Donald Trump just might be retarded today.
No, don't
You
First
say
of
can't
all,
say
you're
that
not
word.
supposed to say
You
that
can't say
word.
that
I
word.
say
You
that
can
all
say
the
that about
time.
Trump.
You
I
can say
promise
that
you.
word.
cannot say
No.
that.
I promise you.
Yo,
You can
my
Find
say that.
another word. What they should be saying is that this is someone who has a treacherous relationship with the truth, and he demonstrated
That's too
that
much
by
words.
treacherous relationship with the truth is far better than what you just said.
No.
That's because
He
his
might be
list, he
retarded.
can't say treacherous relationship. You say it. Say treacherous relationship with the truth.
Oh, now
he
that's
can't.
gonna be a
And what did
challenge.
y'all what did y'all feel about when she kept saying, "I have a plan"? Like, I have a plan. I have a plan. People were going at that as well last night. I
When
seen.
she
Why? She
said
broke her
she has a
plan down.
plan.
No, I guess when she was saying it in the speech, they were saying it was reminiscent of "I have a dream, I have a plan." Did y'all hear? See it?
I didn't
I
even
put
make that.
together.
But you know
connection.
what she did say is we're not going back. And she invited people in to participate with her. So for the folks who said they did not know Kamala Harris yet, there was a poll that said 48%. I think folks got to see a different side of her, and I thought it was a good one.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
And make sure you subscribe to the Native Land Podcast
Native Land Pod, you should know that. It's
or the
on your
Native Land
network.
Pod
Thanks,
with Angela
bud.
Rye, Tiffany Cross, and Andrew Gillum on Reason Choice Media, iHeart.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.